day job, and being not Rex, got a little hectic, so naturally the family and I flew to Cuba to chill out. At an all-inclusive with endless mojitos, the mind turns positively to contemplate 21st century socialism. You want to hear about the problems here? Just watch CNN En Espanol. Me, I've observed Cuba changing in time-lapse over the last 20 years. One thing I can tell you is the place is a lot less Stalinist now that the biggest danger of invasion is from Canadian tourists. Cubans didn't want history repeating. In the 50s, it was an unwilling Las Vegas turned out by the mafia and a puppet fascist to whore for Americans. This experience gave tourism a bad rap with the residents and with Fidel's crew. But the collapse of the Soviet Union and the privations of the Plan Zero years and Canadians' willingness to overfly Disney World has rehabilitated that tarnished biz. The first Canadian tourists in the 90s tended to be the same guys and gals now spending an inordinate amount of time online on plentyoffish.com. The original accommodations in Cuba required a little extra room service to make them palatable. But Cuba has now fully embraced family tourism and built the required facilities. The natural affinity between Canadians and Cubans helped a lot. Like Pierre and Fidel, we just seem to get along like a house on fire. Personally, I believe the affinity is based on a deeply held egalitarianism. But weirdly, Albertans like it here too. Cuba's free of the inequality that plagues the rest of the Caribbean. The few remaining mansions predate the revolution, and people live modest lives free from grinding poverty. Unlike Trinidad, you don't need an armed guard to go downtown. Unlike Jamaica, you're not coerced with tears to buy souvenirs. Unlike the DR, the bus ride to the resort doesn't pass numerous mini maquiladoras that you might mistake for prisons. Unlike New Orleans, emergency hurricane plans include everybody and actually work. Like Canadians, Cubans value their health. Standard indicators of progress like infant mortality, lifespan, and literacy match Canada at every step and kick the U.S. ass. Cubans take great pride in a sophisticated medical system that provides the island with a service of more doctors than is enjoyed by the entire continent of Africa. What they lack in resources, they make up for in resourcefulness. Incubators are an expensive proposition for a poor country. So Cuba developed a program for keeping mothers skin to skin with their preemies until they can survive on their own. The outcome is statistically the same as high-tech incubators. A short boat ride away, the USA looms like a sore loser bully. The national fleet of Ladas, Skodas, and 50s Detroit metal are everywhere visual evidence of the stupid half-century blockade. The terrorists that blew up a Cubana DC-8 still walk free in Miami. But 5 Cuban anti-terrorist operatives languish in a Florida prison. Their crime? Monitoring CIA-sponsored expatriate terrorist groups that are the moral equivalent of Al-Qaeda. The good news is, the only place you find Americans in Cuba is in Guantanamo. The rest of Cuba is a little too risky for them. A few years back, I worked a Varadero Toronto flight that blew an engine and made an emergency landing in Fort Lauderdale. All the Americans on the flight were arrested and detained. Seems in America, the state still has a place in the holidays of the nation. It's been repeatedly proven that social equality, not relative success, is the grease that lubricates the pursuit of happiness. Cubans seem more content with their economic lot than their Caribbean counterparts. As a tourist, I know I'm not alone in happily spending my dollars in this socialist nation rather than some plutocracy where 2% elite and a few multinationals own everything. And there's a higher percentage of Canadians holidaying here than in Muskoka or Banff in July. The Canadians I met here like Cuba because they can enjoy a holiday free of paranoia and guilt. It reminds me a little of Canada before the neoconservative onslaught and after global warming. In Varadero, Cuba, yo soy lo periodista guerrilla Humberto da Silva y no lo reaccionario Rex Murphy.